Okay, yeah. So I'm a bit sick, man. I'm in Ohio now, and this is like I'm in like one of the worst areas I think like in the country for allergies. So I'm like bouncing back and forth from being sick because the weather literally goes from for Fahrenheit speaking, it's literally going from like 90 degrees as a high to like 72 as a high. And for Celsius guys and girls, it's going from like maybe like 30 degrees Celsius as a high to like 22 to 24 degrees Celsius as a high. So like that huge weather shift, man, it kills my sinuses. So I'm going to be coughing and sneezing and blowing my nose all through this. But I'm finally back to condition where I could talk. Like everything connected to my sinus and airway passages was just shut down. Like I couldn't even sleep well the last 3 or 4 nights. It's been awful. But I did go out last night or yesterday, and I ended up running across somebody again who went to the same college that I went to. Um, and when I first started school, it was a 2 year community college, and I'm telling you, man, just so many times, like it's been 10 years, and every time it was a girl I ran into. They like community colleges, man. Like they just do not produce. Uh, it's just not a good place to. It's not a good place to go to college. Now I went and I made something out of it, and I end up with. Well, I'm working on my fourth degree now, my master's degree now. Which we can go into that conversation like is college worth it? Is college not? I think it is, but I mean everybody has their own reasons why they say it's worth it. It's not worth it. Blah blah blah. But I think it is. Now, what I don't think is worth it is that illusion that since community colleges, you're going to pay a tenth of the price at a community college for the same class. But see, what you paying for, like when you're paying that tenth of what somebody's paying to go to a university for, well, like you're losing a lot in that, and it's not with just like the school directly what you're losing it. You're losing like the overall atmosphere. Like at universities, like there's much more opportunities for growth and to get out. See, when you go to these community colleges, man, like those places are pretty much made for people who truly are not going to go anywhere, do something, and they're just having a hobby at the moment, type of thing. That was my experience with community college. Like I said, I graduated and I kept going. I went off to bachelor's and masters, but I mean, and it's in the simple math in community college is sure there are a handful of community colleges who have a 96% graduation rate, but uh, in the United States, the national average of community colleges graduation rates has never made it to 20%. And I'd really say it's never made it to 17 or 15%. It's always been right about right around 14%. That means less than 2 out of every 5 people you see in them commercials or walking up those streets are actually going to fucking graduate. And then on top of that, most of those people who do graduate, they usually run back to doing what they knew how to do before because they can't get a job because all they got is this 2 year degree. You see, and nowadays a 2 year degree is if you're going now into those working into the workforce where you need a degree to do anything, a 2 year degree, man, like and the second somebody comes in with a 4 year degree in anything, they gonna wipe you out the water. You ain't gonna stand a chance. That's just what it is. Unless you was one of those dudes who was like, who's like 35, you had 10 years of work experience in the field, and you went to school to get the degree. Okay, then you might have a little bit of leeway, but like most people don't do that. Most people probably work some bullshit job, went to school, got this 2 year degree in accounting, and thought they would go out and get an accounting job. Like it don't work like that, man. Like the education system's crazy. Like my and I tell you what, that math stands out right to about everybody who I've bumped into who went to that school that I started at. The math's about right. About 1 out of every 10 genuinely grew and genuinely did something with their life after that, and genuinely, like I said, they genuinely grew. Like they matured after that. Most of them, they went to the school and then they flunked out or whatever or dropped out and they ran right back to what they was doing. I ran to this girl last night, man. She working at a bar. Like, see, okay, when you start aging, man, like you don't like for me, it's hard to remember how long a certain time frame was ago. So this is the second girl I bumped into that was in the same situation. Um, we went there just like exactly as though the same years. And I asked like so I asked like, yeah, so when did you go there? 2011, 2012 or something like that. And in my brain, like I'm still thinking that's like 3 years ago. Like that's almost a decade ago. Like, and she said she's been working as a bartender ever since. I'm like, baby, I think she said she was like 26. Like you 26, like okay, your youthful prime is getting ready to be up. So like guys actively wanting to talk to you like that that's getting ready to dry up. Your work history's in like bars and shit. You dropped out of community college, like you are really at the turning point of like you got to make a decision. You either got to go to school and train and start kicking ass, or you gonna keep living your life on this whole thing of like nothing really belongs to you. Because like I said, with now in my opinion, with the college degree is this. I'll be the first one to admit, very few people genuinely like work or genuinely work off their college degree like, and use it for what it really is. Like let's say if someone like studied like I don't know, let's just say biology, just entertain. They did biology. Well, they getting that they realize they don't actually like working in the field. So they go off into something else. It might be HR or something like that. But um but when you do get that college degree, there's a small part of you that is genuinely like comfortable and content with yourself because you did accomplish something and nobody can ever take that away from you. You see what I'm saying? But when you walking around the world as a college dropout or didn't go to college, like everything to you is like super temporary because see at that point like you really don't have much to really fall back on that's always going to be there. You see? Like if you're walking around without college without an education, uh, and let's say you do become very successful at a business. Well, that business flops tomorrow and it's just gone. You sitting up with memories of that business. You see what I'm saying? Now you do learn little hobbies and tricks and blah 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 in it. But I mean, I'm trying. But the point I'm trying to make is that's history. You see what I'm saying? But with that degree, like you always have that, and nobody can ever take that away from you ever. You see, you can go out and buy a Ferrari, and somebody could take that from you tomorrow. Now, sure, you get insurance and blah blah blah, but I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like someone could take that from you. Like I'm just like those schools. Like I said, I went to a community college, but those schools are really just sympathy schools, in my opinion, for the masses. Because the reality of it is, people make the whole argument of like the liberal side always makes the argument of, oh, we make everything more affordable for everyone, blah blah blah. And the problem, see, the reality of it is, the problem isn't with the problem isn't with making college affordable. A lot of it. It's some of the problem. It's not a lot of it. The major problem is the culture of people. You see what I'm saying? Like if you take I don't know some rapper, let's just say 50 Cent, and you give him an honorary PhD, well, don't nobody really want him to go. I mean, other than the fact that his name is 50 Cent, nobody was actually going to hire him off that PhD because he doesn't fit that culture. You see what I'm saying? Like he's walking around, just being like him, but you Dr. 50 Cent. Don't nobody want because he don't fit that culture, that group of people. You see what I'm saying? It's the like so let's say you take a bunch of kids out the hood and you build a community college down the street, and then be wondering why they ain't making it after that because they got degrees. It's because they culture. Like at the end of the day, man, people want to be around other people like them. You see what I'm saying? That's the reality, and it would be the same thing the other way around. Let's say if like like legit doctors wanted to go to bars in the club, bars in the hood people will laugh them out the bar because they don't because they're not they're not in that culture of people. Um, but yeah, man, community college. My experience in community colleges, that is just if someone were to tell you you had an 85% chance of failing. I'm sorry, an 85% chance of not graduating by going to said college. Would you go to it? No. If someone told you you had a 15% chance of graduating from this college, would you go to it? No. And see, this is what community colleges are. But they don't want to tell you these stats. They know these stats are true. Okay. They know whoever reads into it can find it. Because it's on the FAFSA website. When you fill out the FAFSA, the last page, you can look at every school's graduation rate, retention rate, and I forget the other one. And community colleges always have had abysmal rates of success, but they're cheap. And they can put us and they can dress it up, make it look nice, find the prettiest little bitch and put her on a billboard to make you think you want to go there because you want to fuck the bitch. And then they'll take your, $1,500 every 2 months to sell you this because you ain't. I mean, most people. Okay, just the reality of it, and this is shitty, but okay. By the time people are going to a community college, most of the time, like that group of people statistically just never fucking makes it, and they know it. The community colleges, they're fully aware of this. They know it. They're just taking your fucking money. That's all it is. By the time person, and that's really where I was when I went to community college, man. Like I'll be honest, like I was not college material at all. At all. I just was not up to par. I wasn't. All my classes were like not even college level classes yet. They were all like, they were all like those high school classes, those developmental classes to get you ready for actual college courses. I was just not ready. For some reason, now I know why I stuck with it. I stuck with it because I just wanted to drink a lot of beer and live on my own. So I did it for the financial aid checks. But I got the VA to pay for all that. But that's why I stuck with it. I stuck with it because I wanted to drink beer and play video games and live on my own and not have to live in my dad's house. So I did. So I ended up making it. But a lot of people, like I said, man, a lot of people they just do not. From everybody I can remember out of there, most people they pretty much went there, had fun for a few years, and then went back to that bullshit that they knew before, waiting tables, picking up heavy shit, putting it down for some company, dumbass shit. It's that class of people. So I think the core where I'm trying to say is like to get out of this is you have to pay attention to who to what you have to pay attention to the quality of person walking in and out of these places and say to yourself, do I want to be like that or not? You see, and I didn't start learning this till I was living in Europe and I was trying to buy better quality clothes. And it got to a point. I remember once I was getting ready to walk into a Zara. I was getting ready to walk into Zara clothing. Now, Zara's not popular here, and I think it's even kind of looked at as kind of fancy because it's like it's like slim fit clothing. But Zara is cheap. So Zara is cheap shit. That's what it is. It's cheap shit that's made to look like expensive shit. So I was getting ready to walk in there, and one time something just ding. When you just get an epiphany, like a random awareness, ding, and it said, "Wendell, pay attention to who's actually walking in here." And I stood back and just kind of watched. It was all kids, you know, those guys who think they're cool at 28, but they're just on like a failure path at this point. Then that's what I was like. Nah, I ain't going in there. The H&M, Zara's, places like that, like Forever 21, all those places is pretty much most cases are for like people who are failing in life, either young kids or people who are failing in life. That's who goes in those places because that's only people who's dumb enough that is going to spend what they're asking for with their product because their product is cheap shit that's made to look good for 10 minutes type shit. But yeah, man, that's why I'm sick. I blow my nose. I hope this recorded.